Wagwan, Mr. Maps.
Yo, 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 yo. What's poppin'?
What it do, big man?
Nah, I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Can't complain. It's I was gonna say it's Friday, but yeah, technically speaking, it is Friday when the people hear this. So happy Friday to the people. How you doing, bro?
Nah, I'm alive and kicking, dog. Easy like Sunday morning, easy skanking. We're in the building, we're in the ting, ready to do the ting.
All right. Love to hear it.
The ting set.
Love to hear it. Guys, welcome back. It is another episode of 6 Foot Weights, your favorite hour with your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo.
And my name is Senna.
And we're back again to do the damn things. It's going to be a really fun episode. It always is. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. As we mentioned last week, we have a guest that's coming onto the pod this week. And we'll introduce him in just a second. But Mr. Moy, do you have any housekeeping on your side?
Nah, not much housekeeping. I don't know. Should we do this at the end? We've got those things where we have an episode and then we have follow-up things from the previous episode.
If it's to do with certain topics, yeah, I think we can just do it at the end. We can definitely just address it at the end.
So let's do it at the end.
There was one thing that I wanted to...
No housekeeping on my end. I did want to touch on one thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
So, as you would have noticed, Mr. Maps, I haven't done IP Thursday in a minute.
Yeah, so they called you out on Twitter last week.
Yeah, they did, and I had to come and defend myself. I wanted to just explain something. So this year's taken a turn in the weird and unexpected.
Of course, you got married.
So my obligations at work, my obligations at work increased. Just for context, I think I've told you this, Tabo, but IP Thursday takes about 4 hours out of my week. Mm-hmm. That's probably excluding the actual posting.
Yeah.
So it's like research and then drafting and then putting it all together, getting the memes, and then the posting takes like an hour or two across all platforms. I haven't been able to during the week because I like to leave my weekends for just to chill, But during the week I haven't been able to find the time. Things changed at work. And on top of that, my friend decided to get married, which meant I had to take a huge chunk of leave in April. So I'll try. I'm trying to find the time, but bear with me, guys. It's obviously something I enjoy doing. It's not something I just did it and then I stopped. No, I enjoy doing the threads, but it's just a matter of finding the time, and I'll try and do that. That's all from me.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. From my end, I just wanted to recognize a new follower that we had. Let me see what's the handle here. Thrillery Banks. That's a dope name. So shout out to her. She found the podcast, the episode, I think 2 episodes ago when Kandora was on. So I guess she's a follower of him and his media. So she gave the episode a chance and she said, "Hey, listen, guys, I was dying. She is lit out here." So she's been binging a lot of our episodes that we've been putting out over the last 2-3 years, and just wanted to give her a shout out, especially because immediately she jumped in the DMs and she says, "Guys, do you have a Patreon or any other paid subscription thing, bro?" See, this is why I'm just going to assume that she either is from H or lives in H or whatever. I want to be Harare. I want to be right. Yeah, no. It's just, no, guys, it's fun. It's like, okay. She jumped in. She's like, "Hey, Mandem, what are you guys saying about these peas, fam?" And I was like, you know what? This is the energy that I like. That's the energy that I like. Not you're just here for ads and mentions, fam.
Yeah.
But I just wanted
to shout out to our. No, we do have listeners who've helped us out before. We had Nozi in the past. I think she's also contributed financially to the pod. So you guys, Harare Bulawayo, you guys must do the right things. Siyabonga.
No, Harare
But
does.
it makes it what
Bulawayo Angwas.
maybe me and you are slumbering, Mr. Maps, because on my birthday, I think I showed you this. One of our friends, Sims got me a T-shirt, and it's got I think maybe he did it with a couple other friends, which had 6 foot weights branding on it, and I'm like, Yazi, you know, I don't mean to foreshadow, but you know, maybe we can go on a filling station type of thing with branded shirts, and then
I think so.
You know,
I think so. I mean, if someone is a graphic designer,
be serious.
Jump in the DMs. Let's work on something. Merch is always a cool thing. But also we've been slacking. I was talking to our guest earlier, telling him, we've been slacking on that monetizing tip. So we need to have a conversation, me and you, definitely soon, in terms of giving the people what they want, and also, you know, change nyana, branch money, you know, see how things go. And I think that's the last shout out I had to give was to another one of our followers, listeners rather, Tabiso. So shout out to Tabiso. Another listener subbed us, but not in a bad way, right? In a good way, right? She was just mentioning our chat that we had last week. You know, we were talking about the whole employment thing, yeah? The employee of the week, whatever. So I'll read her tweet because it was an interesting tweet. So she says, I was listening to a podcast a few days ago, talking about the Employee of the Month award. It took me back to this job where we would compete to be Employee of the Week /month, and the award was an email with cute emojis and a round of applause. I was clowning hard, hey.
No. If no, Shem, to be honest, let's not. This is the thing that make me upset. I feel like every episode we should have like a list of things that make me upset. This is one of them. Yeah. So what do you don't get anything? Agla bottle of wine,
nothing,
no lunch,
round
no coupon,
applause,
no
see that ass,
and emojis. What's the trying with that? Like, what am I supposed to do?
It's just vibes, bro. It's hugs and vibes. That's all you do. That's all you get for your hard work. But this is the best part. Then Taviso jumped into her mentions, and she was like, he was like, sorry, apologies. You were listening to at 6 foot weights. Those guys are good. I was like, jelly boy. That's what I'm talking about. That's the energy.
Yeah.
That's the
we give thanks. We give thanks.
No, so a big shout out.
Shem, the reactions to the last few episodes have been great. Like, I like it when people engage. I swear I've never laughed the way I laughed at the DM we got from the last episode, because that was hilarious. Yeah, but we'll touch into it when we have our guest present.
Okay. All right. And speaking of the guest, I think it's about time. You know, we're 8 minutes in. I'm sure people are like, hey, bro, who the fuck is this nigga? And we're about to tell you who the fuck he is, bro. We don't bring anyone just in jail, out the streets. We bring people who are tried, tested, people who deliver, So, and again, he's back for his second appearance. The last time you guys heard him on the pod, it was an episode called Skoko Sami. So look it up. If you're new to the pod, go back, pause this one, go back to the other one. Not that it's a continuation, but see where we started. See where we started with my man. But yeah, he's back again. You guys know him as the host of your favorite breakup podcast, Tinto. What's good, my guy?
Welcome to the Feeling Station. Sorry. It's not actually the Feeling Station, is it? I had to remind myself there, gents. Pause, fam. This is not your thing, blood. What's good, boys?
Hey,
welcome to the Feeling. Wow, go on, my G.
Hey, thanks, brothers. I'm doing good, man. I'm back in the UK. I was in Zimbabwe last weekend. Celebrating my 40th. Man, what an experience.
Hey,
damn.
absolute experience. You see,
Coming
the
in
thing with
hot,
Zim,
birthday boy.
it's yeah. You know the thing is, right? Zim is a constant reminder for me that if you have the right people, the right connections, and the right money in place, you can have a damn good time.
No, of course.
But it's also another stark reminder that because you may have access to that doesn't mean that it's the same for everyone, and you should, if you can, be sensitive to those who may not be in that position. Because that disparity between those who have and those who don't, it's too much, man.
Yeah.
You don't think there's an in between?
Absolutely not. It literally does not exist.
No,
it's not there. And one of the things that made me realize that it's not there is I walked into, and again, this was a big lesson for me. I walked into Food Lovers in Avondale. I needed to get, just coriander and spring onions. Who knew that shallots are hard to come by? I went to shallots, bro, in an agro-based economy. Anyway, Food Lovers is the only joint I could get them. So whilst I was in there, I was like, let me pick up some chicken thighs. And I needed 16 for this meal I was cooking.
16?
16 chicken thighs.
What were you cooking?
Because fam, I come from a relatively big family, so I got 4 siblings, and they both have partners. Already that's 8, and they all have 2 kids each.
Okay. So it's a team.
That literally means, it means they're having 1 piece of chicken each.
Damn.
Right? So I got these 16 thighs, 1 bundle of shallots, and a crunchy bar. Guess how much that was? $41.
Wow.
How does that even make sense?
Sorry, I always need to multiply 41
$41
times 16 gives
That's a
me
lot.
asses.
This is for chicken, shallots, and a crunchy.
Yo.
But that was a good lesson for me.
50 rand.
Yeah.
You should have left the crunchy on the counter. You'd have saved yourself some coins.
Bro. That was a good lesson for me because I then popped into Bon Marché, which is just across the street. Literally, it was half the price. Half the price for the chicken, but I still couldn't find the shallots there.
Hey. I know, Food Lovers as well. Food Lovers as well.
Nice mad. So this thing saying that you're saying there's no. So this thing saying away saying that is the middle ground. It does not exist. Either you have or you don't.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Hectic, dog. But did you enjoy your time in Zim? Because I always have whenever I go home, right? I always say this to Tabo as well. Good tea, and I'm sure you share this. You share the same sentiments, Tabo. Good tea. Whenever we go home, it's a vibe up to a certain point.
Yeah,
like there's a certain number of days you should.
There's a time limit
before.
Yeah.
No, you mustn't do more than I say 10 days.
Yeah, I think 10 days is fair. After that, it's the law of diminishing returns. That was really silly. You'd have gone too far, and
after that,
after
the people who are excited to see you are no longer excited to see you because they've seen you maybe once or twice, and they're like, "Sharp, cool, it's fine." Your parents, they were excited to see you. Now they start looking at, okay, how can we use this one?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you're paying bills.
Now you're running errands. Now you certain friends.
Are
for loans, and it's like stay in Zim too long.
Zim is a danger.
Yeah, no, it's.
I was there for bang on 1 week, so I landed on Saturday 2 p.m. 6 p.m. I was at Queen of Hearts for this thing, which is known as This Is Africa. Incredible, man. That was so damn good. Because they were playing on my piano, and for me, that's my thing. I'm a piano in house. And there's this percussionist called Kudzi. Oh, my goodness. Look up Kudzi, the percussionist. I don't know what his Instagram handle is. He is absolute fire.
Okay.
So witness that. It was so good. I invited him to come with his DJ to play at my 40th. They came, and trust me, they brought the house down. So I'm sure you can tell I'm still buzzing, right? I'm only 4 days back, but I'm still buzzing. Dope.
Nah, man. We love the energy. We love the energy, man. Hopefully we're gonna keep it up throughout the whole episode. And we've got a bunch of different things that we wanna get into. I guess we can start with you, Tinto. One thing that you did put out to the public a few weeks ago was that you were going to do an episode with your ex-girlfriend. So again, I'm not fully up to date on the last few episodes of the pod you're choosing. Did that happen? Has that happened yet? Is it in the works?
Bro,
where are we at with that?
This had this has to be the weirdest thing that's happened this year so far. So I get a notification in my email. You got a message on eBay, and I'm like, bro, I've not used eBay in what 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got in, and then this person is saying, "Oh, hi, we haven't spoken in a long time, but I know it won't take you long for you to figure out who I am." And I'm like, who's this? Anyway, she writes this long paragraph. And you know how when you've been with someone for so long, you know what words they use.
Yeah.
And how they structure their sentences. And I'm like, yo, this is overly familiar and uncomfortably familiar as well. Because me and this girl broke up over 10 years ago. Anyway, I reply and I'm like, is this who I think it is? And all she replied is, yes, and I want to talk about us. I was like, what? You're like, what?
Is this only just about the podcast? It sounds like this person is trying to come in from the back door.
I don't know. But what that did for me, it made me recognize that, okay, so you actually still listen to my voice somewhere, wherever you are. Yeah?
Come on. That's that.
And,
I couldn't tell you
because
that.
she's blocked everywhere. Like, bro, she's blocked everywhere. Email, Facebook.
Wait,
when
you
I came
blocked
off
her?
Facebook. Yeah. Oh, man, I blocked her everywhere.
Hectic. Wait.
And
so
she came...
was sorry, I don't want to maybe don't want to talk about it, but was the
we talking
breakup? Well, okay, cool. So so right, Tinto, welcome to the feeding station.
We're your hosts.
This guy.
We're your hosts.
Mad.
This is 6 Foot Weights. I'm Senna. Mike over there is Tabo. So what happened between you and such person that you had to block them even on email?
I will put it very briefly without going into detail.
We want the detail.
But wait,
This
hold on. Has the episode
person misled.
Has the episode been recorded? Or is it
No.
Okay, cool. So for the purposes of 6 Foot Weights, we'll call this person. Let me think of a random name. Tabo, think of a random name. Let's call her
Zara.
Sorry?
Zara.
Let's call her Zara.
Funny enough, she actually liked clothes from Zara. Jeez, this is a bit creepy, fellas.
Okay, cool. So you and Zara, right? What happened between you and Zara?
What's the story?
I'll keep it very high level. That the basic thing was she lied to me that she was a virgin when she wasn't.
Oh?
Yeah. So, and I found out because I happened to bump into her ex, and he was talking very highly of her. Then I'm like, yo, fam. Like the way this guy is talking, right? The way this guy is talking sounds like they are still in touch. So I just dropped the random word in there, and I'm like, hey, bro, whatever it is that's going on between you, I hope you're using protection because we are not.
Do you know where my brain went when you said you're speaking highly of her?
Wait, where did it go?
I was like, maybe this guy was like talking about how, he was flipping her like a pancake.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought like he's giving you. Like, hey,
I would definitely be mad.
I thought he was like, hey,
nah, you see,
well done with this one. I'd be.
No, he was just talking about her personality, her traits, her qualities, how he feels when he's around her, blah blah blah, and it really got me thinking. I think these guys are together. So the one line I dropped in. So remember, I wasn't getting no sex from this woman. Right, because she was a virgin and I wanted to respect it. I then just dropped I hope you guys are using protection because we're not. Just to gauge.
Yeah.
I've not seen a facial expression like that in my life. It looked like the guy had seen a tikolosh or something. Yeah. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you mean you don't know who me and her are? And he goes, no, what are you talking about? This has been my girl for the last 3 years.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, what?
Hectic.
And then the guy's like, she knows exactly how I feel about unprotected sex, and what I'm trying to do to keep myself pure and clean and away from diseases. Yeah. The guy was so mad. He then got us to jump into the car. We got into the car. We drove straight to her house together.
The two of you?
Yeah. The two of us. Opened the door. Again, another Tikoloshi looking face. Shock. She had nothing to say. She just put her head down. She had nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say. Now, he was more livid than I was. Because in his head, he thinks I've been getting some, but I haven't. So the whole while, I'm looking at her and saying, Sha, all these years I've had nothing.
Wait, how long did you
Wait,
guys
years.
2.5, 3 years.
My God.
3.
Okay.
Imagine 3 years with no Nuki. 3.
Okay, well, I did 4. That's what I'm saying.
Mad.
Nah,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm a soldier.
No. But Senna, you were light. No. Get out.
I was also young. No, I was
Get outta
young.
here
I was
with
young.
that shit.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dog. So it was like, like I'm chilled. I'm calm.
So that's what led me to block. You see, and what made it even more, I think, distasteful was about a week after she then drops a message and says, "Look, I'm sorry about how things went. I've booked this place for us to hang out." So I looked it up. Really nice hotel.
Yeah, the lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
Bruh, then I go to this hotel, I was chilling. All along, all I was getting were just kisses, Pella.
Oh, and so the whole time she's smashing the ex who doesn't think he's the ex.
Yeah. So now I get in, she starts kissing, and she removes clothes, we're both naked, hey, what, she grabs my arm, I'm like, where's this going? Then she puts it inside.
You went. You went to the hotel.
Yeah, I went.
He went, dog. That's what he's saying.
I went, because I wanted to find out what she had to say.
You know it wasn't about a conversation. Get out of here.
Bro, Tinto, when she's like, I've booked a place, when your head where you're like, okay, so we're just going to go talk.
In my head, I was like, I don't know whether this is something that's going to happen or it's not. I was genuinely curious.
Tinto, you knew you were going there for reparations. Let's be honest here. This is 6 foot weight. You were going for reparations.
Well, let me tell you, I didn't know what I was going for, but the hope of reparations wasn't dead. I'll put it that way. It was alive. Do you know when you go into something and you got, you kind of say to yourself, whatever happens. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Already I'd had blue balls multiple times anyway. And I knew how to manage that situation. Hey, bruh. Honestly, hand on heart, that woman introduced me to blue balls. I was clueless what the hell that was.
He didn't even know what it meant.
I was clueless until I met her, and I was like, damn. After this one time, she'd been kissing me for what felt like 10,000 years. And I'm thinking, okay, this is going somewhere. And then it doesn't.
No,
bro, I don't know if you guys have ever had that stuff. I think that's the closest a man can get to period pain. Whatever period pain feels like. Hi, bruh.
No, you know what? When Kandor was here 2 weeks ago, he kept repeating a phrase, and I think it's apt for me to bring that phrase back. Women are not good people.
Yeah.
Women are not good people.
Guys.
That's
They are, Bella.
Wait. So I want to go back to one
people.
thing. I want to go back to one thing. What was the conversation between you and her other boyfriend when you guys were driving to this Hans place? Was it just quiet in the car?
He was more.
Well,
remember, he was the one who was getting it. And as far as he was concerned, he was the only one getting it. So for him to digest that there was another man, it was the man in quotes, who was getting the same, and he was unprotected, just freaked the hell out of him. So the conversation was minimal. He kept saying, so like, when would you guys meet? And, would she be like... Would she do this? Would she do that? Does she still, did she like it from this position with you? And I'm like, yeah, that's the one that she likes the most. If I try doing something else, she'd pull me back and say, no, don't do that. And the guy goes, yeah, she does the same with me. I'm like,
oh my God, same girl.
And my story was completely fictitious. Guy was clueless. Well, the drive was about an hour and a half. An hour and 10 minutes of that was... Yeah, an hour and a half.
I'm dying.
A good an hour, 20 minutes of that was complete silence. But in my head, I was actually laughing my head off. I'm like, bro, if you knew the number of blue balls I've got and how I now have control over blue balls versus what you have as your worries in your head, you wouldn't be as stressed.
So wait.
Yo. No, talk about a hot start to the pod, man.
Yeah. Nah,
Wait,
shit
so
happens,
wait,
man.
So Tinto, at this moment, do you obviously there's a side and there's a main.
Yeah.
You are the side.
You see, now I don't know, because what became
Okay.
very clear was there's certain personality traits that he had that she did not like, and I was compensating for.
You know what?
And
I
there's
reckon she was.
and there's personality traits that I have that he was compensating for. So she was balanced.
I think she was saving you for later.
Yeah, I
Women
think so.
tend to do that.
Sha. So that means I was the side Adam.
No, do you know that? Like, like when you're growing up, right? Your parents always forced you to eat the rice or the sadza or the pap or the chwala first, and then you eat the chicken afterwards.
Yeah.
So you don't touch the meat before. So then you
Until
eat
you
the other
finished everything
things,
else.
and then till you finish everything else, and then after that,
So pure.
so pure.
So I guess I was gonna get chowed later, which means I was the side Adam. What's this other one?
So in terms of actual time spent in a relationship with the Han or whatever, who do you think was the main? Who do you think was the side?
It was definitely him, because he was in the picture for over 3 years. He was closer to 4, and I came in when they were having a bad patch. That's when I came in. But then she couldn't see herself having sex with 2 guys, which is why when this guy fell off the radar after he discovered that I was having sex in quotes with her, well, imaginary sex, he pulled out. That's why she invited him to the hotel. And then whilst we were there, she invited me to partake, have an intimate moment, which we had. But it didn't last very long, because whilst I was in the act, the thoughts that you're only giving this to me as pity sex was a huge turnoff.
But then did you still smash?
I mean, how do you smash when you know that you're only being let to smash because something else is no longer available?
Wait, so you didn't?
Reparations, is it?
Dude, you give her that angry D. Like, sorry, I'm not that person, guys. I'm just saying.
Nah, you know my how in my head, the thought of it being pity sex was just a huge no. For the moment I was in, I didn't realize, I actually am a whole lot more worth than what you're giving me. I don't deserve this. I don't want it. So I didn't enjoy it. So I can't sit down and say that I had good sex with her. I didn't.
No, but you finished the mission, is it?
I mean, what do you call finishing the mission? Because my mind for me was like, this is not for me. I'm not doing this. I'm not enjoying this at all. Wow. So finishing it in terms of, I'm stopping. I'm no longer interested. Yes.
Ha! So Tinto, you're able,
because for me it was.
That's mad, bro. No, but I mean,
why does that sound? Yeah,
you're a stronger man than most.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is, why would someone be going for mad, angry sex? Like, what are you bringing out? What's the value of making testosterone so special that the moment is not even enjoyable?
That's actually a very good question, because I think most guys in your position would have done that just to prove a point.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
To mark it off.
Did you know that women can feel? Women can feel that. Women can feel that I'm being done because this guy is enjoying it and is into it, versus he's just banging for the sake of banging.
That's the point.
They can tell.
Yeah, but that would be the point, right? You're just saying, yeah.
Nah, this babe was disrespectful, bro.
Yeah,
so
that's the way to say it, Tabo. It was pure disrespect. I feel sorry for Tinto. I lied to him. Let me finally give him the goods.
Yeah,
and hopefully he will forget about it, and then we continue. So a few
that's
pumps in,
shit, bro.
That's when I was like, nah. Do you know what? This really isn't it? Because I wasn't giving it my all. I wasn't giving what I wanted to give. I was giving what I felt I had to. And sex shouldn't be about what you have to give. It's got to be about what you want to give someone.
And then
that's how I approach
she's in your DMs on eBay on some
eBay, my guy.
I don't know, guys. No, women. No, this gender, guys. Fear women, guys.
So, So I went on Twitter. I'm like, hey, guys, this is what this girl is saying, blah, 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 blah. And then people are like, okay, fine, go for it. So I had about a day or two to think about it because now, remember, I've been taken back in time to something that I would rather forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm back in time. I'm like, okay, it's past. Let's do it. So I reply. I'm like, okay, let's do the episode. Up until this day, she has not replied. So the episode hasn't happened because she hasn't got back to me, and I'm not about to chase and follow up.
No, give us an email. We'll follow up for you.
Sizambuza thina personally.
We'll ask
her ourselves.
These guys.
We'll do the necessary, dog.
Explain, bro. I think she needs to explain a few things, and even the fact that, again, like you said, it's been 10 years. I'm sure there's questions. Obviously, you don't think about it anymore, but I'm sure there's certain questions that you'd like to ask and just dig in on, just to be like, bro, but what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, because I would personally feel that way, like, because in the moment, I don't think I'd ask too many questions, and I'd do everything in my power just to cut ties. But there are just certain things that I know over time. You're like, nah, but I really want to understand what the hell was going through your mind, dog, when you did this thing to me, you know?
I think maybe that's the difference between us, because for me, a question has to be asked in the moment. Because it's raw emotion, it's raw thought, it's raw feelings. So when I eventually had the chance to speak to her after, the two of us went our separate ways, I'm like, okay, I need to understand 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the answers that I got were not convincing. I could tell it's a lie. This is somebody who's caught. They're trying to butter up the story.
What was her explanation?
Explanation was that I felt that maybe there was an opportunity for us to build what we had after I got rid of him, and I was trying to get rid of him gently. That's the expression. She says I was trying to get rid of him gently, and I'm like, what does gently mean? She goes, in a way that wouldn't be hurtful to him. And then my follow-on question was, so you would rather it be hurtful to me? And she's like, oh no, I didn't think about it like that. So once you hear that line from someone, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
It means they didn't have you in the forefront of their mind anyway. You're an afterthought, which is a problem. So when I think about the longevity, the time that he was in the equation versus the time I was in, what he was getting versus what I was getting, the comments, the questions, it very quickly became clear to me that I was an afterthought.
Sure.
Which is why it was easy for me to say, do you know what? I am cutting you off, and bang, cut off everything.
Tinto like block.
Everywhere.
Yo, I know that's it.
Like,
And then, so
even on LinkedIn, I'm blocking you.
So yeah, you guys haven't spoken. So ever since you blocked her, there's been no communication up until recently.
Yeah, absolutely none. Zero.
Nah, but I mean, no, honestly, the
Zero,
balls of
zero,
this
zero.
lady to
Zero.
be listening to the pod and be like, yeah, let me actually talk. Nah, dog, like me, I can't get over that. Women keep saying the men have the audacity, but nah, bro, this is liver. You speed this because yo, bruh.
I'd understand things like LinkedIn, because you can just type in my full name and boom, you find me.
Yeah.
eBay, bro. I last used this eBay account about 6 years ago. 6 years ago. But she remembered my seller ID. Went there, clicked, and then said, boof.
Nah, bro.
Bruh.
Seller ID.
It's a mazza.
Guys,
it's a madness.
I'm dying.
Madness.
I know this is a big one, bro. Yeah, no, this shit is crazy. That's a mad.
This
Guys,
and this is not even half of the guan of the things that happened.
tell us, we're here, bro. We're
Are
here
you
for
crazy?
you.
This is not TFS. This is not TFS. I've actually given way too much. Way
We'll take
too
what
much.
we've gotten. We'll take what we've gotten from you. But no, man. Mr. Moy, are you okay? Are you still with us?
No, dog, I'm dying.
And you know what? These kind of experiences, they leave you with trauma.
Shit.
So they leave with trauma. So if I got to a stage where if somebody said to me that, oh yeah, I'm keeping myself for my husband and I'm pure, I was like, peace, because I'd be reminded of that.
Yeah.
You get?
I mean,
so even
that's
some
the
of my
shitty
friends, So even when some people that I know say, "Oh, you know, I've met this really good girl. She's from church. She's keeping herself pure. She's never had it." I don't comment anymore
Because
in my head I'm like, okay,
But wait, Tinto, I have
but
a
no,
question.
real trauma does come out of these things.
I have a question because you mentioned this a few times. It's kind of just popped into my
Yeah.
mind now. The whole
Yeah.
virginity thing and being pure. What on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did that mean to? I mean, because I know last time we were speaking, you were in a relationship. So I'm still going to assume the same. So you know,
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Pre that, how much has that meant to you on a scale of 1 to 10 that Han is a virgin, someone that you're serious about?
It didn't mean anything whether they were or they weren't, because it's always been about who the person is. So
Okay.
so if I can lock into you mentally, intellectually, spiritually as an individual, all this other sexual stuff is icing on the cake. Of course, it'd be nice if you can have it, but because I was prepared to go that long without it, meant that it wasn't that important, and it wasn't a value factor for me.
Okay, so it's
It was
only
just-
the
it was just
trauma
an
just
interesting
comes because of this
characteristic.
particular relationship that she told you this, and she
Yes.
obviously played it up frequently when you're trying to go
Ye-
the distance, and she's like, hey, you know, this and that.
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly it.
Okay. No, that's mad, bro. That's, you know, people who have experiences like
mud
this.
thing, proper mud thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, you know, well, I'm assuming you are happy now. You're much, much better for it. You're an amazing dude. So, well, we're happy that she didn't.
No,
do
me, I hope you're happy,
lasting
my guy.
damage.
That was a lot to go through.
That is a lot.
It was a lot to digest, because now imagine after the breakup, every other day what I was imagining was conversations that they were having and what she was saying
Yeah, but
in terms of how she liked it.
Tabo, why are you saying it?
You see,
I know this is heartbreaking shit, dog.
you know,
This is fucked up. No, I'm
I was
not
imagining. I was imagining the things that she would say, and then okay, this is going to be very graphic, and I hope you guys don't mind.
No. We don't
Right?
mind that at all.
But imagine if a girl is having sex with a guy on top. Occasionally, it pops out. Yeah. Now, what I have in my head is her saying, "Oh, baby, put it back in," and it's never really the guy who puts it back in. She normally grabs it and puts it back in, and then she shalas on the item again. So you're laughing. It wasn't funny, Bill, when it was happening to me. So I'm imagining these words like, "Baby, put it back." Yeah, Konapo. For me, I didn't even get the opportunity for her to say, "Put it in the first place." Someone is being told, "Put it back." Me now is never given, "Put it in."
Nah, bro. Me, I feel that.
And then you got people like XQ busy singing songs like "Mr. Put It In." Mr. Put It In.
Everything reminds me of her.
Bruh, I hate XQ. I don't listen to XQ. If he has a song that says "Mr. Put It In," forget it. I'm out.
Fuck. Shit.
Oh my god.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm
sorry.
joking. It ain't
I
that
need
deep.
a
It ain't
minute.
that
I need
deep.
a minute.
I'm joking. Nah, it's not that deep. I'm joking.
No.
I'm joking, fella.
Hey,
You know what?
Yeah.
Tinto just reminded me of. The thing is, as a guy, right?
Yeah.
Reminded me of a story of when I had a bitter breakup, and was Tabo knows the whole story.
Yeah.
Cheating, ex, blah blah blah, right? The thing that happens, it's natural as a guy to start thinking of those things, and the funny thing is when you're going through it,
Yeah.
unfortunately you ask. So I
You asked her. What did you ask her?
asked,
This
I'm
guy.
like, so how often was it?
Nah, you never want to ask that.
And it's like
You'd rather.
You
So-
don't
so
deserve
the
the
funny
truth,
thing
my
is-
G.
No,
You
so
don't
it was
ask
like
stuff like
so
that.
I tried not to ask too many details. So it was literally something along the lines of, okay, so how many times was it, like, how often did you lie to me when you're saying I'm studying, Kanti? You are,
Yeah.
So it's like you at times you invite those chest pains yourself.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that thing.
Nah, no, you never do that. But as well, Tinto, the whole. Hey, listen, we've all been in that situation where it slips up.
Yeah.
We've all been in that situation. You're absolutely right.
I know.
It's
we
never
have.
the dude.
That's why I mentioned it.
It's never the dude.
it slips
You're
out.
not the one who puts it back in.
No.
She knows exactly.
Never.
what it is.
You
Bruh.
Exactly. Now, so imagine me, I'm saying to myself, it has slipped out. And the guys always say, baby, put it back. And then, kweche, straight in. Those are the visuals that I was having in my head.
Yo.
I said danger. But are we good now? We're good.
Yeah, no, this
Guys,
is
welcome to the feeling station on 6 foot weights.
Yeah, I know.
You guys are jokers, man.
No, hey, man, you've set us up nicely. It was actually some serious shit that I was gonna have this chat about, but actually, we can tangent off of this because of something that you did mention when you were talking to said guy, right? I think I saw a tweet or something on Twitter. I don't know where it is, but I wrote it down where I can't remember what the source material was. But the question that I was going to pose to both gentlemen, I guess we can start with you, Tinto, as you are our guest today. As guys, do we, if you know, there's a hand that you've been with, and it's not a serious thing, right? So she's not your girlfriend or anything like that. It's just literally, just what you guys are scratching an itch. You guys are just hooking up for fun, friends with benefits type of situation. Do you give recommendations if you're in that type of situation where you happen to smash Uzbani and then you're like, hey guys, yeah, like the box is fire there, like gents, go for it. Like, is that something as that is popular with guys? Because apparently with the ladies, it is a very popular thing. And the nigga has a big dick, or he can lay it down, or whatever it is. They're going like, 5-star, really go that way. Do you think as guys, in your experience, is that a popular thing?
From my experience, I've never been told that this chick is fire. Never. In my experience, never. Because I'm assuming guys know if you say that, people are going to try and approach that woman. And if you're enjoying it that much, why do you want to share? Right? I'm just giving an example. It's a little tangent here. But my son loves Percy pigs, which are these little sweets sold in a shop called M&S. Yeah,
okay.
Those things are divine, bro. No matter how hard you ask him for one, my man will tell you, "Sat, no, I'm not giving you," because he enjoys them that much. Yeah. So now, why would I be telling other owns about something I enjoy so much, so that they also go knocking on the door and ask for some?
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, I would never give a recommendation. If I had good cooch, I've had good cooch before. I've had very good cooch before. Yeah.
That very was very, very
5 stars.
And I ain't ever said shit to no one about that cooch. Never in my life. Because
Why?
I hate to imagine some other own telling that woman, put it back inside.
But if you're not romantically attached, you're not romantically attached. She's not your woman, like pass it on, bro.
Tabo.
Down the line.
Have you? I know. I've had a few episodes, and I've spoken to people, and they say, "Oh yeah, I was digmatized." If you guys ever had cooch so good, like me, I get goosebumps sometimes, right? Those goosebumps when they jolt, bruh. I'm like, why should I be recommending this to anyone to have this same sensation? Yeah. It makes no sense. And also the risk that you run sometimes, yeah?
Yeah.
In life, you hear people like, I don't know, let's think about a rich South African. Name one.
Patrice Motsepe.
Okay, so he's rich, but is he as rich as Bill Gates?
Nah.
Is Bill Gates as rich as Jeff Bezos?
Nope.
No.
This is the point. There is always someone who is bigger and better than you are. So when you're enjoying this atom, you give a recommendation. What if the guy who comes next chires more than you do, and now she no longer wants to rock with you? Then what? Off the back of giving a recommendation and you want people to know what intole imnandi. For what? For him. You must be crazy.
Tinto, for example, right? I'm not saying I do this, right? But then let's say, so me and Tabo probably talk about a lot of things, right? Almost everything. If I was to come across a firebox, I'd be like, my guy. Like, I'm calling him the next morning, like, my G.
Oh, yeah.
This is Wagwan. So are you telling me, like, you won't tell, like, your boy, go to, hey, bro?
No,
like,
no, I will. But it has to be my boy.
Okay.
You know, you guys are my boys, yeah.
Yeah.
But it has to be my boy. Where I know this guy ain't gonna pull no moves.
Okay.
I'll give an interesting example. Captain Planet, right? That dude is a living legend, right?
Yeah.
Side note. Before you continue, to everyone who doesn't know what Captain Planet is, go to episode number. Is it?
I think it's 15.
15. Episode number 15 of the Feeling Station. That's the Captain Planet episode.
Still my all-time fave.
Spotify is one of my all-time favorites. Go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, check that one out. It's hilarious. You guys will love it.
It's mad.
Carry on, my guy.
So Captain Planet, he had 3 cooches. He doesn't really talk about fire. He doesn't talk about water and earth. He talks about fire. He actually calls a fire because she had fire coochie, right? When I hit stop, when I hit stop recording, right? I was like, hey, bro, send me fire coochie's Instagram. Yeah. And why was I doing that? Because now I was curious. The way he described the sex he had with that woman, I now wanted to see for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sent the Insta item and I was like, yo. The only thing that kept me in check was the fact that I knew this guy has been kind enough to give me an episode. I got mad respect for him. And I have a missus. If those 2 were not part of the equation, I was going to enter DM and say, what are you saying?
Enter body.
Unreservedly. I was going to enter body. Or at least try. So, you can go out there recommending as much as you want. I am part of that crew. If I'm enjoying something, I ain't saying shit to nobody except
you enjoy
my
it by
boy.
yourself. Uhlale wedwa in your corner and literally
just
just eat by your one. Like,
exactly.
Guys, I'm fine. Keep quiet. This thing of telling is a problem.
Well, when a table would you tell someone who's not your boy really that?
I mean, here's the thing. So in my book, if I've been there, done that, I'm like, alright, cool, I'm not going back. It's because there's hands where it's just like, you know what, me, I just wanted to just once. You know, I think Drake has that line. You know, just want to feel what that pussy likes, so one time is fine with me, right? So if it's one of those, if you happen to fall into that category, then absolutely, I'll give you a 5-star. If it was lit, hey, bro, nah, she's lit, bro. Go for it, right? Because I know no matter what, I don't care, right? So even if you go, you wife the item, I don't care. You go, you give her the best sex of her life. Again, I don't care, right? So, but what you just said, if it's someone that I'm like, okay, cool, you're on the rotation, then in that, no, I'm not singing her praise. Like, you know, we're on and off like that. But I'm not going on and be like, nigga, you know what I mean? Like, because then obviously, you know, I've been in situations where, you know, someone gave a recommendation that was too good, and then, you know, the friend group almost got split up because I was like, this guy is, you know, and his litmus test, which is something that I also put as my own litmus test. If the box can put you to sleep, dog, or to chow good with it, and you knock out, nah, bro. That's
a fire box.
So this is what he's now telling us. He's on some gents. You gotta go to sleep. Go to sleep in the obviously. So what are the boys like?
So wait. So side note, Tinto, I assume that you're not a fan of, because me and Tab once had this conversation in one of our earlier episodes about like Eskimo brothers. I assume you're not a fan of Eskimo brothers. For those who don't know, an Eskimo brother is your friend. It could be a good friend or just like an acquaintance. that you happen to have passed through the same box, so you've smashed the same hand at some point, right? And
Yeah.
you know, sometimes it happens in that sense where Tinto comes to me, is like, yo, Sena, bruh, I smashed Mang Mang. And then maybe a few months later, me and Mang Mang have a similar situation. And then we're Eskimo brothers. Because we come out of the same igloo.
Oh, guys.
Are you
women listening to this podcast? How do the women listening to this podcast take some of these descriptions? Man.
Oh, well, I'm sure people know what it is.
That's why they're here. They need to know the terminology so that
they need to know. They need to know.
Coming out of the same igloo.
So that if they're chilling amongst girls, right? Then some guy says, you're my Eskimo brother. The girls know Wagwan, right? They already know what okay.
You've got
this
the
one is talking about. Yeah.
So this is from an education point of view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So what's your take? So if say, because me and Tabo would consider you as a boy. So if me or Tabo had been through a certain person that you're interested in, would that put you off completely? Or you
of course it would.
Really?
Of course it would. Yeah, it would. But, you know, if, in fact, any woman I've been with, and romantically as their partner, I have not known anybody who is close to me that has been a part of her sexual experience deliberately. Because it just leaves a bit of a foul taste, you know, because there's some characters who are not just rowdy characters. And if I'm to know that this own was there and now it's, you know, I'm there and I'm loving this woman romantically, I know how disrespectful this dude might be. You know, you know that type of fella who will give, what did you describe it as, angry sex? Revenge sex, what is it? I don't remember. If I know that this is the kind of guy who will do this sort of thing to somebody who I'm calling my princess, I cannot walk.
No, there's nothing worse than that. Actually,
wait. Okay, so wait. So is there a difference between, sorry Taba to interrupt you, but is there a difference between someone you're just smashing or someone you're wifing?
Of course there's a difference.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to clarify. So if me and Tabo had smashed someone that you just want to smash, you're fine. As long as you're not wifing that person.
Yeah, I know it doesn't matter.
No, absolutely. Okay. That's cardinal rule number one. Because again, like Tinto said, there's some niggas who are hella disrespectful out here. Senna, we know these niggas.
Yeah.
And you never want a situation where, you know, said guy has run through the hut and then has been there, done that, and then now he's in the group chat on some, you know, someone posts a picture, in the group chat. I was like, she's looking like this. And then he jumps in the group chat, bruh, these cheeks are wounded, bruh. And bruh, he's calling your cheeks wounded, and that's the person you're busy texting good morning every day, dog. Like, that's, you know, when shit like that happens.
Good morning, my queen.
Yo.
Imagine.
You can't be catching L's like that. You know, then someone in the group obviously knows that that's your girl, and it's like, dog, but isn't that your missus? You know, and then now, now you just look like a bitch. Like, it's just never. In that type of situation, if you're giving someone a recommendation, just know you're never going back, type of thing. That's my attitude. Listen, there's no way I'm seeing this person again, or really, we're not going to be in this type of situation, so whatever. But if it's someone on rotation, fam. It's like, you know, when you give a dog a bone, they take, like, my dog will go to its kennel. Take the bone quietly. Go to his kennel. You will not see that nigga for hours. You'll be in his kennel sorting out that bone. You know, like, really, it's just quietly. You won't hear him bark. Nothing. You'll be quiet in his kennel sorting out that bone. And that's how, you know, that's how it should be. Because if you give a recommendation that's too good, people are like, you know what,
I want to see what going.
Let me
you see, for me, there's this thing that I always think about, and this comes down to the choice of a wife. Yeah, you know, people will say, "Oh, I want to have an attractive, pretty woman who's like the best in the world, so that in the morning, every time I wake up, she gives me a boner and I'm ready to go." You know, all the years that I'm gonna be with until I die.
That's very important, by the way.
But Senna, any man with an attractive, beautiful, pretty wife has got the same problem as a farmer who plants his maize on the roadside. When the maize is ripe and ready, every other person who's walking by wants to have a piece of that chibagi. of that umumbu. Because
True.
it's there, it's visible, and it's available, and they want to chow it.
But can I tell you something?
And Konapa, you've got a beautiful item that everybody sees, they find attractive. What's stopping them from chowing?
It doesn't matter how beautiful your person is. Someone will always find them beautiful, and someone will always want to chow them. So you might think that,
that's
bro.
Johannesburg
Let me
5,
tell you,
That's 4.
you might think that. Let me tell you, you might think that your person is the most beautiful person in the world, and Tabo might think, she's alright. Like I wouldn't,
Yeah.
but yeah, she cool. Someone out there is willing to enter your yard and chow
Yeah.
that Adam. I can
Die
tell you
for
for
the
free.
Adam, bro.
Doesn't matter how beautiful you think she is. Like she might be beautiful in your eyes and not in Tabo's eyes, but maybe a panache might look and be like, yabo, that person. Wagwan. Anytime is tea time. If I get a chance in J.
Because in the group chat, hella niggas post grenades, bro. And I'm like, Jets,
Bro,
this is your fighter.
Me, for
is
me,
who you're
guys.
dying with,
If
dog. And there was, I won't say, but there was a time many years ago, not recently, but many years ago, me and Tabo were someone posted a girl in the group chat, and me and Tabo were like, guys, this Adam is fire. This is a long time ago, by the way, like it's not recent. This Adam's fire. And gents were like, nah. And we're like, nah, guys, this Adam's fire. Ones were like, no, it's not. So it's subjective, right? So
and guess what?
But
All of them guys who were saying no, she's not fire are out of
there
the
is context.
equation.
There's it's obviously like a high school chat, right? So it's not even like
niggas
a
were
recent
hating,
thing, right? So it's like
no. Niggas was there to hate. It was literally one of those. You might as well say Messi, Ronaldo. There's people who just, if you're a Messi fan, there's nothing that I can say about Ronaldo that will make you believe that Ronaldo is number one or even is close to Messi, and vice versa. So it was literally that argument where it's like, guys, let's be honest. Umuntu lo muhle. And niggas are like, absolutely not. They're like, no, actually she's ugly. And I'm like, guys, ugly. Like, it was Tinto. It wasn't even like nah, she's not really my type. This was, bro, she's ugly. And I was like, nah.
There's a story here.
There's a story here. It's like,
But guess what?
Ask, who hurt you, dog? Like,
But guess what? All of those guys who are saying that this item is not dope are out of the equation, which means you have one less man to worry about persuading your woman to chow them.
Actually, you know what I would think? Those would be the ones I would fear. Because publicly, they'll
Why?
be like, nah, she's ugly. Privately, I'm willing to bet money. I'm willing to bet
In the
money.
DMs.
If she were to hit
Fire
emojis in the DMs, they respond and they pull up. If she's like, brah, come through, I've booked a hotel. Every single one of those niggas would pull up 10 minutes early.
And they wouldn't do a Tinto.
Yeah, no.
Eish.
It would be the
They
best
wouldn't
moment
do
of
a
their lives.
Tinto.
There would be no guilt there.
Yeah, nah.
Men can be hypocrites. I've seen it, bro. Like niggas and hypocrisy. That's a pandemic on its own. It's a group chats. Group chats were just there to lie on group chats. That's what I've seen. Manga straight. We're just there to seem a certain way, and privately,
Yeah.
where you now hear, bruh.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So the same hands that niggas will be calling ugly, right? Then you see the hands that they actually hook up with. You're like, but dog, that other hand you said she was ugly, but Kangela got his.
Manje Lapa, please explain. Motivational, motivate, 10 marks.
Like, honestly, dog. Like, shit doesn't make sense. I'm like, bro, you literally, this item is a baddie. And you were out here in the group chat like, really, I would never. Nah, hey, what even if you walked naked, I would never be erect. Oh, okay, sharp. In the club. Ugliest item in the club. Like, you know, it might as well be Ukraine, right? Because you're chucking grenades all over the place, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You
But
guys.
Anyway.
You know, it's interesting how you guys talk. It's interesting how you talk on this because I don't know. I know McG has gone into trouble for using words like smash and grenades and blah 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 blah. It's hard for me to get
Grenade is
past.
Tabo's intellectual property.
Oh, is it?
Nah, don't give me that type of
How do the women that listen to your podcast respond to that? And I know it's a bit of a
They like
of a
the
sidetrack.
toxicity that he brings to this thing.
Or do they? Okay,
But
fine,
I think
fine,
here's
cool.
the key. I think here's the key difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're calling someone specific, I think it becomes disrespectful when you talk about someone specific. Hey, that hand is a grenade, right? But if you're talking, I think what we do, or what at least we try to do for the most part, is you're talking generally. Okay, that Adam, but like, who is that person, right? It's just a person. So no one should ever really catch feelings. Because again, I'm not talking about you, right? Unless if the shoe fits, then that's not my fault that the shoe fits, right? If you see yourself as that, that's a conversation you need to have with yourself, right? But I'm not talking about you. Me and Senna were just having chats, and we're bringing people into that conversation. So that's why I think no, for the most part, again, we haven't really gotten too many messages about anyone feeling offended about us, whatever. But it's just because at the end of the day, we're not directly talking about someone. We're talking about experiences that we've had and conversations that we've had. You know, at least that's how I like to see it.
Makes sense.
That
makes sense.
And again, I always laugh about this because when I see the stats, the podcast is 65% women in terms of the listenership, which is mad. Because I'm like, we don't really tailor this podcast to women. I feel like we tailor it towards men, right? That's at least that's kind of how we went going into it. Right, so it's the biggest irony that it is majority women listening to this thing.
But then I think that the stuff we talk about relates more to women, so they're always like interested to know like men's perspective.
That is true,
right?
On certain things. So it's like we'll talk about, you know, how do people relate in like talking stages, right? Women want to know what guys genuinely think during talking stages, right? Gents are like whatever. You know, it is what it is. But I think for us, for the women, it's like okay, I want to know what actually goes through a guy's mind when we're just chatting. Before we start dating.
Gotcha.
Because you do get a lot of those questions. You know, hey, this and that, like the most random stuff. Because if you think about it, from if I listened to Girl in Skies and they were ratchet like us, for example, I would DM them questions and be like, hey, so, girls, do they ask about this? Because there's so many things that I wonder about girls, right? But then, you'd never know because you're a guy, right? So it's like, man, there's this podcast that I listen to. Let me just DM them. Let's put it out there. Let me see what they have to say about it. Because obviously, they're girls. I want to hear their opinion, right? So I think that's how it works for the most part. But and again, mostly people that grew up in our generation went to the mid. So it's like most people are familiar with the lingo, right? So you know what it's like. Okay, cool. Like, but we do have generation outsiders that do ask questions about the lingo, and that is funny. Trying to explain to someone who's 40 what a grenade is, and like I've actually, ironically, my dad listens to a few episodes of, if not all the episodes of the pod. And
your dad.
Heard,
like that's always.
I've heard his language change and certain things that he said. I'm like, who is teaching you? Because I know it's not my youngest brother. He's not the guy who's teaching my dad this. And I'm like, wow, maybe he's listening to me and said, and then he's out here. He'll be at work like, that Adam is a grenade.
That's jokes.
Yes.
Anyway,
that's jokes.
So I actually asked Senna this question earlier, and he gave me a funny answer. So what I wanted to just kind of dive into.
It really wasn't funny. It was honest.
It's a funny answer because wow, Senna, what's wrong with you? But anyway, what we wanted to have a chat about love languages, right? And the importance of, or is it important or is it not important? But the first question would be, Tinto, do you know your love language or languages?
Do you know, it's interesting that this whole love language conversation is coming up, because I can't confidently say I know all of them, but I can tell you what I like being done for me by someone.
Okay.
If someone goes out of their way to do something, for instance, if I'm coming from London and I'm going to Birmingham, and that person just decides, I'll come and pick you up from the train station without telling me, that act of service is great for me. I love that.
Okay.
Because I think about the effort and time you've put into doing that for me. So definitely, acts of service is got to be one of those things right up there. And then physical touch. I'm a very touchy guy. Very touchy guy. I like touching. I like being touched. So if I'm in a relationship where someone ain't touching me, it's gonna be a problem. Going back to that example where where I told you very briefly what happened in an old relationship of mine. Even though I wasn't getting nookie, yeah, she would touch me, and that was enough in quotes for what I could get. Now imagine if I wasn't getting no nookie, and then I wasn't even getting touched.
Yeah,
I would automatically feel unwanted, undesirable, unattractive. And in the moment somebody puts, when you're walking around in the neighborhood and someone just hangs their hand over your shoulder, if I start getting excited by that, then tells you something is very, very, very wrong. So to answer your question, is it important to pay attention to love languages? For me, I think it absolutely is. Because if I like being touched and touching, and I can neither touch you or be touched, I'm going to go elsewhere.
Want to be touched.
I just want to be touched. I'm just a touchy guy.
just team
like own team, like
which is why the songs like "Tempted to Touch" are very relatable to me. So
that's actually really. Tell me, you know the song, right? It's a really good. It's a really big tune.
End of the night. Exactly. I want to hold you tight. Tempted to touch.
Bad as when you get out of that tune in the club, fam.
Bro, nice lit. It's a lit thing.
Nice.
And then also just from some people that have come onto the podcast, there's the whole thing where they say I didn't feel valued by him. It's important for me for someone to tell me that they love me and that they're expressive to. Those are words of affirmation. So in their absence, someone feels like you don't actually care about them if you don't compliment them, if you don't show them appreciation, if you don't give them verbal encouragement. And they switch off. And then if they turn their head and someone is saying to them, hey, you look amazing, I feel like I'll make a great husband to you. Do you want us to give us a try? And she likes hearing that sort of thing. She's going to pay that guy attention.
Absolutely.
And then there's this thing that I always watch. I don't know if you guys know something called DNT TV. It's very popular in SA. It's about this guy called Joseph Daddy who goes making couples swap their phones.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And for swap phones for 60 seconds. So Tabo, you give your phone to your wife for 60 seconds. She goes through anything and everything she wants, and she does the same for yours. I mean, you do the same for hers. And what always comes out, there's always something dodgy. And what all of the guys or all of the women always say is, you don't give me time. And the guys are too quick to say, I give you money, I pay your rent, I pay for your commuter stuff, I buy you clothes, I buy you shoes. The women always say, you don't give me time.
Yeah.
And that's the quality time love language thing, isn't it? That's one of them, I think.
Yeah, it is.
So this for me just highlights the importance of paying attention to somebody's love language.
Absolutely.
Because they could have all the shoes on the planet, all the red bottoms they want. But if you're not spending 10, 15 minutes with them that is valuable to them, you are nothing.
Yeah, I think
so. My question to you, Tinto. So
yeah,
I always say, right, if I was to ask my girlfriend for a phone, and I told her this, I was like, I'm personally done like touching women's phones. Like I don't do that like at all. Like, I've got trauma. But I always say there's always going to be something that will upset you. It might be a conversation between her and her friend. It might be innocent. They might just be talking about a random guy who hit on them at the club. That will upset you. Because it's like, so every time you guys go out, this is what happens. So I'll always say there's something in your person's phone that will upset you. So already once you go down that route, I think Tabo also said this at some point in one of our episodes last year, you're gonna get hurt, dog. Like whatever you find there will cut you.
Because you don't have context.
Yeah, you don't have context.
Yeah.
You don't have context. Do you feel like that program or that show or whatever takes that into consideration? Or would he, irrespective of whatever you find, vele you're just going to be
I'm going to send you guys links after this. You will thank me. because everything that is found on every episode I've seen is not an insinuation. It is reality. You got people saying to you, "Thanks for last night.
Hey.
It was amazing. I can't wait to see you again."
Jesus.
And previously to your guy, you've said to your guy, "I've got a headache. I need to go to bed. I'm not feeling well." It's this level, or it is so black and white. You can't deny it even if you wanted to. You can't.
Nah, honestly.
And I get it that people shouldn't go through people's stuff, because they say if you look for trash in a trash can, you'll find it, right?
Yeah, you will.
And even if it's said in innocence, you will interpret it in the way that you feel it is. Now you're getting into the whole conversation and argument. Why in my phone? Respect my privacy. Hey, what is the context? Hey, I don't trust you. Blah, 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 blah. Joseph Daddy and DNT TV, I beg. Guys, if you're listening, please go and check any random episode. You will see what I'm talking about. It's fire.
Guys, honestly speaking,
pay attention to love languages.
It's a lot.
Tabo Senna, what are your love languages?
So I told Tabo says my response was funny. I said to him, Uguti, my love language is all of them. No, it is.
You see, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense to me. I want physical touch. I want acts of service. I want words of affection. I want everything, dog. I want it all. Like you can say it's khwaba, but I don't know why I have to prioritize one over others, right? So. And
but
that's
you
the
do
thing.
though. Naturally, as a human being, there is something that will make you happier than the others. Generally, it might not be by a lot, but it does skew in one direction.
Nah, so during my 6-month talking stage with my girlfriend,
6 months, yeah.
Yeah, it was 6 months.
He's mad. This guy.
Mad.
No, it was. The thing is, we get it. Like, even if I bring her on here and I'm like, dude, do you think 6 months was fine? She also says 6 months was perfect. So everyone who disagrees, we are willing, both of us, to sit at a table and challenge all of you. But anyways, so
at the red table.
At the red table. but it's like with time, you then I've experienced all of it, and I don't think I can do without any of it. Right, so I want a random gift or a random meal. That's a good act of service. I want you to tell me that you like having me around and that you love me and all these things, which is words of affirmation. I want that physical touch and affection, that all the things that come with it. That's also important. So I that's why I say all of them, because I think they all play a role and they're equally important. I can't prioritize one. Yes, obviously, I think when one lacks in the context of a relationship, then it's just it feels like something's lacking, and then it's never quite right. And that's my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Tabo, but I'll let you give your love language.
I mean, Senna, I think with the whole love language conversation, for me personally, I think the main two that pop out are acts of service as well as touching, physical touch. Much like Tinto, right. I love the physical touch. My wife can attest. Like, literally, I always have my hands on her, and that's just how I am, right? But the other two, it's not like they're far behind, So again, quality time, that's big for me as well. So I get what you're saying, Senna, in that they're not. If you take the quiz, my scores are not too far apart for all four, because quality time is a big thing. Just you hang out on the couch with your person and you just talk.
Like so, for example, right, like on a Sunday,
that's big.
Sunday afternoon, you just sit the whole day. You just chill in bed. You don't do anything. You order in. You watch F1. You watch the Premier League. It's just or movies or whatever, right? You just quality time together. It's that's important too, even if
big time.
All the other ones are lacking. That's also equally as important as everything else.
You know what's funny? Well, the way I they always ask you, like, if you get married or whatever, if you're in a relationship, they'll say, how did you know this one was the one, right? I feel like as guys, there's all different things that we look out for, and there's always that one thing that like they do, say, have, or whatever, where you're like, nah, this is the one, you know. And for me, ironically, most people have me as an extroverted guy, right? Most people would describe Utabo as an extrovert, but I'm 50-50. I'm extroverted when I need to, but also I'm really introverted as well, right? I'm very selective in terms of what part of me that I show. Yeah, you see, Senna, you only know half of me, bro. But, like, I have a social meter. That's the thing with me. Like,
But I said
I
this.
like
I
to
said this.
socialize and stuff.
But I said this. I said this in my speech at your wedding, Uguti. From primary school, you're always the loud guy, sent out of class for noise making.
Yes, because at school I was there to make noises. So
yeah,
that was the
but
mission.
that's just your character, right? So you can't. I think people wouldn't be faulted to be like, this guy's extrovert.
Absolutely. I mean, because again, that's what I show and that's what I choose to show. So I'm happy with that characterization, right? So my introvertedness is not something that I want to be, publicized. It's not something that I want people to know. It's just for me internally, I know I have a social meter, and then I take necessary steps when I feel like, right, that bar is full. I need to remove myself from the situation. So that's just always how I am a lot of the time, right? And when I was, in the relationship stage with my wife, it got to a point where like it was one December that we spent together, and I was scared before that December, like the months and the weeks leading up to it. I was scared because I was like, I really like this girl, right? But then with almost literally everybody else, I get bored, right? And I'm just kind of like, whatever. It was nice, but okay, go away. I get to that point sometimes. And I was like, oh man, I really don't want to feel that with this person because she's really that great of a person. And I was shook because, pretty much we spent 6-7 weeks together, and I didn't feel that at all. And for me, like after like 2 weeks, it's like, hey, bro, chief, you need to dip. That's just how I am. So I didn't feel any of that. And then I was like, you know what? If you can be in my space, even when I'm not trying to be around everybody else, but I'm still happy that you're here. That was the moment where I was like, you know what? Number one, this one, I need to keep this one, So those are some of the things where I know with every guy, they'll have their own story where, maybe it could have been, hey, bro, that pussy knocked me out, man. And you like, this was the one, or maybe she made me try like yama and yeah, that shit slapped. And, that's that for you. That's,
it reminded me of, it felt like home.
Yeah. Like, I knew this was my wife. Everybody has that one moment where that person did. I'm sure it will be the same for ladies. Like, they have a moment where they're like, I know this is the person.
Okay, so let me think hard. I need to think really hard.
Yeah, you need to think very, very, very hard because 6 months is a long time. A lot of data for you to comb through. But
it's a long time.
we still have a bit of podcast to go for you to.
Okay, no, wait. You know what, right? So we went into this place, right? And we went to Neisner, on the
real quick. You know how many years it was for me chopping that name.
What did you call it?
I pronounced the K. That's all I can say.
Kneisner.
And then you said
okay, cool.
You mentioned it like once or twice, and I was like, where the fuck is this guy going? Right? But then obviously, because you can't just be looking stupid during the people, you keep quiet, right? You keep it to yourself. And then when Senna gets to said location, he posts on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, because obviously I'd seen that location. I knew where it was, but then it just didn't. When Senna says, I'm like, where the hell is Nice? Where's Eastern Cape? Like, then when you see it, you're like,
okay. No, man, we went to Neisner for a weekend, about 4 or 5 months into our talking stage, of which, so that gave me the opportunity to test all the love languages at once, right? So we spent. No, so dude, here's the thing, right? Neisner from Cape Town is about 5 to 6 hours, depending on how fast you're driving, what kind of car you're in. So obviously it's like a polo, so it's like 5 hours. Okay, wait, because I was also driving, fast. So during that time, it's you and that person in the car. You're stuck together. You have to talk. So it's like, okay,
or
so
just turn up the radio.
Yeah, you can, but then at some point, even the music you've gone through the playlist within the first 2-3 hours, and then afterwards, it's like, okay, let's converse. Like, are we comfortable with each other? And then, obviously in the drive, you can't go anywhere, right? No one can zone out. Well, as the driver, you can't zone out. So I'm like driving, so I can't go on my phone or whatever. And even on the road, she's conscious of okay, I need to be there with you, right? So that's you test the quality time and things, right? So then you get to the place, and then obviously there's okay, let's assess how are we together from a physical point of view? Is it good? Obviously, because maybe before you left, you were seeing each other maybe once in a while, but now you're like stuck there at this place for an extended period of time, D2. And then like all of them that's why I recommend a vacation before you start dating, not after you start dating. Like just you test all the love languages, go on. And then from there, it's okay, how do you treat me? Are you, do you do things for me? And if the answer is yes to all of them, then you know that, okay, here I have a keeper. And then you can then proceed with knowledge on that basis. Tinto, I'm not sure if you disagree, my man.
For starters, I'll not be doing 6 months at the talking stage. That's way too long.
What's the standard talking
way
stage?
Too long. For me, it really didn't go past 4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. That's about two and a half months.
No, that's one.
No, it's
one and a half.
Oh, 1.5 months.
Yeah. 1.5 months is enough. And yeah, the whole vacation thing, I totally agree, because if you're with someone in a for a prolonged period of time in a confined environment, you really get to push each other's buttons. Because intimate space will tell you whether something is right or something is wrong, especially over a long period of time. So yes, on that front, I also totally agree. In terms of testing all the love languages, words of affirmation for me don't really mean much.
Because people can lie.
I know exactly, because people can lie. So, look, if you got something to say, great, I appreciate it. But if you don't say it, I'm not going to be in the dumps about it. Quality time, already said, is quality time. Yeah, quality time is nice, because if you have somebody's undivided attention for a special individual, it's nice. It builds chemistry.
Exactly.
And what normally happens is when you spend quality time with someone, you're already 90% of the way there for an intimate moment, if that was on the table. Because, I don't know, quality time just kind of sets the scene. So I hadn't thought about that. But I'm actually a big fan of quality time myself. Actual service, I mentioned it earlier on. Gifts are great. They're great. But if I was to rank them, spending quality time with someone is hand in hand with physical touch. Those for me are almost inseparable. And then an act of service, as in if you do something for me that I wasn't expecting, you plan a surprise for me, you organize an event I wasn't thinking of doing. It's right up there. Gifts are great, but they're like a cherry on top of the ice cream.
Yeah.
Whether I get a gift or I don't, doesn't mean much. But what I've also learned about love languages is that you tend to do for people what you expect from them. So I've been in a relationship with somebody who's all about gifts.
That is true.
And if gifts are at the bottom of my pile, she was consistently unhappy. She's like, I always get you this stuff, but you don't seem excited about it, and you don't really, do stuff for me gift-wise that I would like. That's when the penny dropped. To say that you really must pay attention to somebody's love language, because if it's not aligned to yours, it is secondary to your thought process, and you never bring it to the forefront.
Exactly. Because if you don't care for gifts, or if you don't care for affirmation, like
you're not in a rush to give it.
Exactly. And then Kanti, you're starving someone of her love language. And
exactly.
Like, but babe, I'm spending all this quality time with you. Like,
I'm doing all this, I'm doing that.
Exactly. Exactly. Like every
Exactly.
relationship goes through that where you don't know.
You could be
and I used to
buying
I used to
someone
think it was
gifts.
stupid as- yeah.
Yeah,
I used to
like
think
you
love
could be
language
buying
was
someone
stupid.
gifts and they
Like,
just want like
waste of
fire
time.
rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying
Buying all the Louis
Gucci,
and the
LV,
Gucci's,
all of it.
just
Candy,
wants to
all
be
she
held.
wants is fire rounds and cuddles.
Anyway, gentlemen, we need to keep it moving. We need to keep the train moving because we are running out of time. So, all right. So Tinto's with us for about another 7 minutes. I want to quickly, and then Senna, you and I
Yeah.
can stick around to kind of just wrap things up. So we have a Siazama here, Mr. Moise. We're going to transition into Siazama. And this was even sent in now. The listeners like, Chief, are you guys recording or is it done? Like, you're lucky, we're still live. So she says this is in reference to. So last week, Tinto, for your own reference, we spoke about this. I'm sure you saw on the TL the chat about ripped underwear or boxers or whatever. Like if you get with someone and they've got a ripped panty or this and that, right? And people were like, nah, I'm not trying to have none of that. But real quick, from you in 2 sentences, is that a deal breaker? If you're about to hook up with someone and the panty's got a hole in it.
At what point would you have seen that the panty has a hole in it if you're really into it? Let's just think about it. Let's just think about it.
Undressing someone, you can see that.
Pelamina, the way that these things have happened for me in the past, I love kissing Shem.
Lover of touch.
So if I'm kissing someone, and, I'm busy, I'm buttoning her top, the top comes off, I'm unclipping the bra drop, so I'm still on the lips and the face. Yeah, my hands are gonna navigate down from her breast, get to her waist. When I get to her waist, it depends whether she's got a jeans on or she's got a skirt, whatever she has on, I will try and pull those down as far as I can. But if she's also a partner who's in tune, she'll recognize this guy's hands can only go this far. Then she'll kind of do the wiggle and help me take it off. Right? So I'm still.
I see.
I know you guys get the visual. So I'm still stuck on the kiss. At what point have I gone down to see good painting jai?
Okay, fine. But let's go. This is the reality. You've seen it. Then what?
And also on top of that, Mina, I usually zega at night. I'm not really a daytime guy. It's too hot, guys. It's too hot to enjoy. I like it at night.
Okay, Dracula.
we turn off the power. Okay, but let's assume I've seen a hole.
Yeah.
It's not a deal breaker, man, because in the moment, bruh, there's too much going on to worry about whether a panty is torn or it's not.
Okay.
You remember when we were lighties, they would tell you, make sure you never wear a torn panty just in case you faint. And in my head, I'm like, what? Okay, if I faint, why are you taking off my trousers?
Because
anyway,
the doctors will do that and put like the scrubs and the hospital things on you. So that's why they do it.
So if you're about to die, do you think it matters whether your panties got a hole or it doesn't?
Hey, what if I
Yes, because
survive?
if you live, exactly.
If you live, just be grateful to God. You saved my
But
life.
then the nurses
Nah,
will
but best
remember.
believe we're roasting you though.
To say that this guy,
Whoever was
Oh,
there
no,
on
absolutely,
scene.
absolutely.
Guys,
know
it
our
ca-
group
it
chat
ca-
would
do
have
you know
for
what?
days.
Dog.
I think
maybe your crush was there.
I think the
when
people
you knock out or
I
whatever.
think the people who are ready to wear a torn underwear are the realest out
No,
there.
dog.
And they are probably gonna give you fire
Which
cookie.
is why I
No,
said
don't give
last
them
week
credit.
to Tabo. I was like, my guy, even when you're at home, just make sure Guti,
Yeah.
at least your clothing looks decent enough. So that
For
if you
in.
kulega and you KO here, we know that all right, cool. My guy, this is Wagwan. Like you're not going to be embarrassed about anything. Right? It goes down to even like having a toothbrush in the house. Then you have a girl sleep over, she sees your toothbrush. Who's that, Tina? What are you going to say after that? Right? You must be sure.
Aibo.
So wait, Tinto, before you leave, this isn't a Siazama per se, right? So just before you go, This was someone also following up from last week's thing. I'll keep this anonymous because I don't think this person wants to be named. So
Yeah.
I do not have a whole underwear story, but in terms of being bearless down there, I do not always plan to smash, right? So I always have nice underwear. But the first time me and my person did it, I wasn't a hairless cat because I wanted more
Okay.
reason to hold off more than a few dates. Obviously that didn't matter, but when it happened, it wasn't planned. So obviously, Tinto, you know Wagwan here. This person hasn't planned the thing. Most girls, I think, when they're planning to give it up, they make sure that it's like
They shave their
they
Adam.
shave the atom, right? So
Adam's beat it up.
so this person probably went on, as a bush baby, all natural.
She was on a poison item.
It's written all natural. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna let it do what it needs to do. But obviously, on that night, things happened. So, as a guy, right? What's your first impression when something like that happens?
I think I'm way too simple for my own good.
Way too simple.
That's the honest truth. Because in the heat of the moment, because I am so ready and I'm so involved, certain things just become superficial. Honestly, hand on heart.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, I mean, to
So
be honest,
for me-
it's not a big
and-
deal.
and-
Though. If you're diving into the
And
jungle,
in fact,
it's not a big
Yeah.
deal.
in fact, diving into the jungle may actually be a bit more
Not you
interesting.
niggas calling it the jungle.
Because it might be more interesting because every other person is so smooth and clean shaven. When you bump into something unique, it is actually special.
It might just do.
Yeah, but we're
might
not
just-
chowing the Adam if it's like that, bro. If it's Mfusho Adam, dog, like that. That's a different story. I absolutely were in. Well, with
What do you
you.
mean?
But we're not
Tinto,
chowing.
are you? Wait, I want to hear. Tinto,
Yeah.
are you not chowing it? Like, are you not going down there?
You see, the way that you presented this to me is that this is the first time
Yes, the first time.
we are linking with this girl, and she didn't. No, you don't shower Adams in the first time.
Yeah, nah.
Nah,
Absolutely.
it's just I don't. It's like an unwritten rule. Fed. Whether
Yo,
but
you're a proper gent, isn't it? This is the thing. First time you ever chow the Adam.
You guys are savages. What's happening out there, boys?
Nah, fam. Vele mina never. Yeah, not the first time. You
Tell-
never catch me
Can
chowing
you
an
put
Adam.
parental?
No,
Can you put parental guidance on this episode, please?
Yeah, no, this one my mom is
I like doing a bloating and it asks you explicit or clean.
Yeah, no, this one is explicit. So.
Alright,
Might
cool,
not
cool.
be
gents, my
excessive
time
in
is
some
short.
regions.
Awesome. No, Tinto, we give thanks.
Yeah,
Gigi. Thanks for coming across.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna love and leave you guys. This has been fantastic. 6 foot weights, guys. Continue doing what you're doing. It is absolutely amazing. God bless your hustle.
Cheers,
All right,
Mikey.
man.
We give
Appreciate
thanks.
it.
All right.
Keep
I'll
going
catch
with
y'all
the
later.
pods.
Laters.
Thanks, man. Peace.
Yo, Mr. Moore. Aye.
Anyways, guys,
Yeah,
that
no,
was
no, no.
Tinto from The Feeling Station. You can check out his podcast. Just go on the Feeling Station on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. It's really
Yes,
interesting
sir.
if you want to hear heartbreak stories. There's always some dizzy people on there telling tales where from the
And he's doing friend breakups and family breakups, and it's Pagati inside.
growing.
It's
so
yeah, it's
clangy.
great. It's big. It's big. It's definitely hey, bruh, Zimbabweans guys, like it's a lot of good content out there. So definitely check out the podcast if you've never heard of it. Just listen to a few. Personally, I say start with episode 15. That's my all-time fave. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a few gems that he has in there that will just literally knock you off your seat. But back to this topic, Mr. Moore, because the way you asked the question, are you chowing the Adam on the first date?
I don't know. It depends on the person.
Nah, never.
No, it depends on the person. If it's I'll say if it's someone that I know, maybe you're now telling someone that you've been friends with, right? Maybe there you'd be like, okay, I know like Uguti
Okay.
as a person. You're cool.
I
People.
can sort of understand where
Yeah,
you're coming
but
from.
like,
with that. But even I would even look at a hand suspect if on the first time that we're smashing, like you're giving me head, bro. I'm like, Nick. Like again, obviously I'm not gonna say no, but like I'm it's
So
minus
obviously
one.
I'm not gonna say no.
I'm not refusing, but it's minus one on that. Like when after you once the post clarity hits you afterwards, you're like
yeah,
girl,
what
you
did
was
I
out here
just do?
sucking dick like that, bro, on the first day.
No, man, but it depends, right? It depends on how your knowledge of the person. If it's a random, I don't think you do any of that. Not that I ever have randoms, but I think if it's a random, then you don't go there.
Yeah, I think honestly, the way I look at head, yeah, both ways. I think it is, in some ways, almost a step above BAPS, and what I mean by that is in terms of, I feel like people are much less willing to give up, their oral virginity versus actually clapping cheeks or whatever. Because I
Why
know
though?
so many guys and girls who have literally been like, yeah, so we ended up just fucking, right? A lot of stories where it's just like, but you didn't even like him like that, whatever, right? But you rarely ever hear a story from a hand like, yeah, then I just ended up sucking his dick. Like it's just like, unless there's other past history between the two of you, like you rarely ever meet someone and head is the first thing in your mind. It's rare. And even with guys, it's like I rarely ever hear stories. No, I was really feeling the vibe and what we made out, and then all I did was just eat her out. Like you never hear that. Like from a dude.
Yeah, I
And I think there's maybe a slightly higher standard for head, and
Why
then
though?
Whereas it's BAPS. I don't know why.
Shouldn't it be the other way around? If you're talking about it
I
from
think-
like a biological safety point of view, it should genuinely be the other way around.
To be honest, I'm
But
white,
then
and I personally
when
I
it
don't know
comes to
why
those
it's
things-
the other way.
I actually think it's about perception, because you're not trying to have that person think Uguti wena you're freaky or you're wild or you just
Really?
I think that's what it is. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, guys, add us and let us know. We talked about it a lot, but add us and let us know in terms of why do you think, or if you think we're wrong, and it's a lot more people are just easily giving up the mouth rather than the cookie or the dick. Like again, let us know if you think we're wrong. I'd be very curious to see what people add us, DM us, Naule and Shoni. Our DMs are always open at 6 foot weights. But now let's quickly jump into that Siyazama. So this individual says, so my friend met this guy and they've been vibing for about a week at the time. They planned to meet up, but she didn't show up. And then in brackets, she says, because my mom delayed getting back home and she'd left the house without her keys. Like living in your parents' home is a struggle, bro.
Bro.
And then she says, okay, yeah?
No, I'm just saying, bro, like, yo, Uklalendlini is not nice.
Yeah, no. Now, Uklalendlini is the ghetto dog. Trial, she was ready for the date, but then obviously didn't go. The nigga got so upset he ghosted her for 2 days. On day 3, and in brackets, it was a Thursday night, he called her and they were cool again. They planned a date for Saturday, right? So on Friday, friend goes to work and the guy calls and asks if he can bring her coffee or something like that because they work in a similar area. She agreed. Guy comes through and the chemistry was too much. Now,
Yeah.
the underwear that she had on that day was shady. You know, the ones at Dambileo. Like it. But yeah. bro.
It's not even granny panty.
loose ones, and she had whoppered it on the side. Oh my god. She'd done a bulk wash of her undies the previous day, as she does monthly, and no, she doesn't put her undies in the washing basket. It's just a thing she does, so that what? It's just a thing that she does, so that and it rained in the morning. She was going to work, so there was no, they were all wet, so she had no choice, right? Anyway, guy convinced my friend to go out to, wow, my WhatsApp's being weird. Where? Okay, cool. Guy convinced convinced my friend to go out for a drink after work. She convinced herself nothing was going to happen. Yeah, mistake number one. And the underwear was obviously
See, that's that
Exactly.
DM that we got.
Exactly.
That's the first
You must always
mistake,
be
when you
prepared
think
for the
nothing's going
worst,
to
but
happen.
expect the best. Yeah, so she convinced herself nothing was going to happen, and obviously the underwear was motivation for her not to do anything. They went for a drink, and things got hot. Left the restaurant, and the parking spot where they had parked was right at the end, and it was dark. The guy threw her in the back seat, and she quickly took off her own underwear and did the deed. Hey, yeah.
I keep waving.
Shout out to the Han. And then Soktua, the Han forgets about her underwear, and the lights come on. So the guy was reaching out when he picked up. So the guy was reaching out for his when he picked up hers, and he was shocked. He looked at the hand and asked if everything was okay. Oh my god, I'm done, bro. The Han explained the situation, but I guess he didn't believe it.
What's she explaining? What's she explaining?
I think we'll need
How
to have
do
a
you
follow-up.
explain it?
She'll need to come back next week. Follow up on this. Senna wants to know, how did you explain? How did the conversation go? We need those details. And then, so talk
Like, bro, how?
I guess the guy didn't believe her because on their next date, the next day, he took her shopping for lingerie. But on the big butt.
Now you don't know if he wants you to look sexy.
I mean,
Or it's
personally,
a
I wouldn't do that, 'cause I feel like that's a little bit disrespectful,
activity.
bro. Because it's like, no, of course I can afford my own lingerie. Come on, nigga. But anyway, so top, but on the flip side, they're officially.
You haven't given me the impression that you can.
Also, she redeemed herself on their second date, but he occasionally roasts her about the underwear issue.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
no,
true.
no.
If you can roast her
Ish.
about it, that's
but,
true.
but do you? Okay, you see, here's the problem, right? That night, yeah, when this thing happened, best believe someone now knows the story. He either called his boy or he put it in the group chat, because obviously you're not in a relationship at that point.
He probably told his boy. He first he texted his boy
that
like,
conversation, I think.
bro.
I think that conversation definitely happened. Like, nigga. Stage, bro. Like that. I think that conversation definitely happened. But then now the shitty thing is that you've gone and you've wifed the husband.
like, dude.
So now it's like, but niggas have this knowledge. You know what I mean? So it's that's the shitty thing. Like something like when you're not expecting to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, and then things take a turn, cheeky, sing I love you, baby. Then niggas now know. You know, you were busy clouding the iron before, and then now that's your person. You know? That's your happy ever after. Yeah. So I mean, be careful
it
what you
is
tell
what
the
it
boys,
is, guys.
or be careful what you tell the girls. Because you know,
Sometimes
you be telling the
kunjalo.
girls, hey, his sex game was whack. Hey, nkwe. And then next thing, that's your man's. Exactly.
Next thing, phakade lami. Awu,
Now your girl's
bathong.
looking at you funny
But I
because
thought you
they
said-
know that you're having whack ass sex. Now you must lie. No, guys, he's improved. Yeah, so see.
No, he redeemed himself. Of which that can happen. Like you can have
That's true.
an off night as a girl or as a guy, right? And then maybe
No,
the second
absolutely.
time you redeem yourself
I
and things
always assume
come right.
If we're talking
Then-
the first night is always horrible. Usually it's the worst. Yeah, it's just that's usually the one
Oh,
that
that's always awkward.
you put away.
Not the, but it's always
Nah,
awkward, right? Because you're
that's not a true reflection of me. Neither is it a true
not
reflection
true
of
about
you.
that one.
So let's just that one. Let's ignore that one. And then from number 2, you have to have your shit together by the second time, because I mean, I work on a baseball system. 3 strikes and you're out. 3 times, give you 3 chances, and I'll cut. Jack, bro.
hectic.
Yeah, no, three
Again,
separate
three is a
occasions
lot. 3 is a lot.
is
3 is
long,
a
bro.
lot.
If you can't figure yourself out in 3, then bro, it's not for you, this one. Because I mean, at the end of the day, sex is all about compatibility, right? It doesn't mean I don't think anyone is ever naturally bad at sex, right? I just think sometimes your body doesn't vibe with the body of the person that you're trying to get with. So, I don't think anyone is just, if you are that individual where everyone who's been with you, guy or girl, just says you, then we'll have a problem. Because even all products, bro, all products have like different rates. If you go on like
It's
Amazon,
not right.
I'm sure on Takealot is there when you see reviews, right? It might have like 50 5-star reviews and then like 10 bad reviews that are 1 stars or 2 1 stars, right? Like it's like that. It's like that. Then shit like that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some people who think, no,
It is what it is.
this nigga
Some
ain't
clubbing.
shit. And then there's others who think, this guy took me to heaven. It's just, it is like that. It is like that. But, Mr. Moy, we heard some heavy shit today,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
We heard some heavy shit today.
No, man. Today was it was fire upon that.
Yeah, no, it was a big item. Speaking of next week, anyway, we'll talk off air. We'll talk off air.
To all the people who sent us like siazamas and things that we wouldn't get to discuss today.
Yeah.
Next week is another week.
Yeah, no. Oh shit. There's actually
Don't be
there's some
afraid.
shit that you brought up that I wanted to talk about as well. But we unfortunately it's long, but we'll save those. At least these are topics that can be addressed next week as well. So yeah, no, guys. Full show today. Mr. Moyo, thank you as always for putting in a shift along with the boy.
No, we give thanks. Shout out to
Definitely.
Tinto for coming through. This was a great episode.
He is the
thoroughly
man,
enjoyed it.
absolute man. Guys, support his podcast, share it around. Let's keep it growing, keep it flowing like the water. Anyway, guys,
Like
as
the
you know,
water.
like the ting, subscribe to the ting, retweet the ting, or else we're inclined to believe you are a hater. Mr. Moy.
Latest.